तू मेरी आरज़ू तू है मेरा नाम रख दिया.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ken Rampersaud Show. As you know, my name is Ken Rampersaud. It's a beautiful day here in New York, and I'm so honored and so glad that I have two very distinguished guests with me. Towards my right is the beautiful Guyana Prasad, who is no stranger to us all. She has been singing for many years. And in fact, that song that you are listening there, Bazigar, she is the one who was singing it. So I'm so lucky to have her in studio today. And towards my extreme right is no other than Anthony Prasad. If I tell you that I know Anthony Prasad, Anthony sing for a long, long time. In fact, I taught his mother Red Cross back in Guyana. I was very good friends with his grandparents and then his mother. And then now I am lucky to have Anthony sing in my presence. So Anthony and to Guyana Prasad, I want to say welcome to the Ken Rampersaud Show.
Thank you, and thank you for having us with you.
Thank you, Ken. Program. Thank you for having me as well. And I want to say a very good afternoon to all my viewers, all my friends and family. And New York is cold, but you know what? You have to dress according to the climate, the condition here. And thank you all for tuning in, okay? Share the link. Thank you, Ken, for having me on your program. It was nice meeting you last night. I saw the excitement in your face and all of the artists. Last night. It was wonderful.
It's a beautiful thing to have here. So, Anthony, again, I want to say welcome to this program today. I know you are a fine young man that could really give some insight here. What you want to say? Welcome.
All right. Again, thanks for having me, all the accolades and everything. But we seize every opportunity to educate the masses and the public as much as we can. So whenever an opportunity arises, whenever a door opens, we grasp it and we seize the opportunity. And so, again, thank you for providing this opportunity where we can not just come but and do a broadcast and have some entertainment with music or what's not, but we can use the platform to send and educate our listeners and our viewers on pertinent issues that are affecting our people, our young people, and the entire mass out there. And so, thanks again.
You are welcome. So before, like I said, you know, I knew what I admire about Guyana Prasad is that, you know, after I started this program, she was one of the first person actually to, although she is the one who is in the in society, you guys know her, she's a great singer. You know, she would write into me, always encouraging me to do what I do. And, you know, it really means a lot. And last week, actually, I woke up, and when I woke up, I looked at my phone and I saw that she put on Facebook, you know, you guys, this is the Ken Rampersaud Show, and you guys need to watch. And that really means a lot to me. And that is one reason that I play a lot of her songs. And it's appropriate to have her here today and to listen to her song. And she has a beautiful voice. I can tell you, she's sitting next to me and I'm hearing her. It's good tune to my ear.
Thank you, right? Kenneth. I know you always boost me up, but you know what? You're doing a good job. We're trying. We're all learners. So we're still learning every day. And I'm doing the best in anything I do.
That's good. That's a good way to look at it. So let's go, girlie. You know, where are you from in Guyana, actually?
I'm from Wakenham Island. Of Zealandia. That's where I was born. And I'm happy and I'm proud to be from Wakenham.
Did you tell me something about Lenora too?
My mom is from Lenora.
Okay, that's
my mom good. And my dad from Wakenham. So okay. My dad used to always tell us, we always ask them, you know, they're getting old, and we always ask them, tell us how you guys courting, and we just laugh.
Yes.
So my dad would say, oh, I went to play music. I like music.
Yes, yes.
And you know, when the jukebox playing, I saw a nice little girl in a corner.
Yes.
And she was blushing. She hiding behind the post.
Right.
And he would go and tell his friend. He would tell his friend, oh, I like that girl. When we go home, you gonna tell my daddy for me that I like that girl, and we're gonna go ask home for her. Mm-hmm. And that's how my mom and dad, you know, they just asked home long ago, and they agree because
Lenora
he loved her though at first sight. I mean, that time they didn't really had love at first sight. If your mom and dad fix you, you know, match wedding.
Right.
And they said, this is what you're gonna get married to. That's how it go. So, but my dad fall in love with my mom.
That's a beautiful thing.
They get married. Now they're 65 years together. and it's a pleasure to have them as a mom and dad.
Yeah, and I know you do a lot
every day, and I love to do for them until their last day, if God permit.
Yeah, and you know what? I know Anthony says that it's a lot of accolades, but I can tell you that his grandmother probably was one of the most beautiful women in Lenora. With that, she was fair skinned. She had that cat eye, if you know what I mean. Am I right, Anthony?
You're absolutely right. It's
She
just
was
a pity that none of us inherited it. None of the kids, none of the grandkids. Maybe when I get children, maybe one of them might actually inherit it.
Yes. It's a recessive genes, if you know.
Well, yeah.
And
yeah.
so if one of your kids or you get a girl who has the gene, hey, you never know.
And you never know.
That's right. So let's give some greetings out to our viewers here. Let me go. It's a lot of you guys tune in. Let's see. Priya Prasad, love your choice of songs. Yes, and Diamond Vibes, thank you for tuning in. I see Girly right next to me. Anthony saying yes. Farouk Ali, you met him last night. That's the way to sing. And yes, that's how Girly does it. So clean. You sung, understand every word. Good. Gomes Kalicharan, thank you very much for tuning in. Rashid Rasul, thank you. Our good friend of the show, Nafisa Noor, and Nafisa Noor actually is the mother of the guy that you met last night, Roshan. Yes, so a very pleasant lady too. My good friend and neighbor, Kamini Bulkan, Kumar Bulkan, a very nice and very intelligent lady who actually was one of the air hostess on Guyana Airways, and she's from Lenore. So we're always proud of Kamini. I see Lenai on. Thank you very much for tuning in, Lenai. Alvin Ramsarup, thank you for tuning in. My good friend Indra Ramkishun, thank you for tuning in. DJ Sean, fantastic song. Thank you again, Farouk. Let's see who else we have here. Arvind Kedarnath, our DJ, who is doing a fantastic job in playing the song. To my dear friend Sarah Daisy saying, my dear Ken Rampersaud, you are looking handsome as always and smile. Well, I think it's always good to carry a smile. Let's see. We have Deo Moti, your friend Deo Moti, all the way from Florida. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Hi, Deo Moti. Angela, she's doing a wonderful job as well, and I want to wish you guys Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I wish her all the best. Continue do what you're doing, honey. To my DJ there, Sean, you always big me up, boy. I coming back again to Tortola. I know the wedding is coming up, so don't forget me, okay? And to all my friends that locked on, I see my cousin Janice Mangal from Canada. Hi, Janice. Nice to see you, honey. Thank you for tuning in our program. Maria Harris, I met you last night, sweetheart. You are such a wonderful person. Also, Nalini Naidu. Oh, yes, I met her 2 nights now. And her her husband was there. He's a wonderful person as well. Hello to all of you viewers, and thank you for tuning in to our program. And it's nice for Kenneth to have me here as well. I saw my sister, Nalini, from New York here. I didn't check her out as yet. Later, we're going to go party.
Yes, I see Janice. Yes, I see Janice Mangal. Thank you for tuning in. Deo Moti's laughing. Let's see. We have, as Michael Nalini Naidu. You know what? I admire that couple, to be very honest. I've been watching them a long time ago.
They are very sweet.
They are a role model. They're always having fun. And that's how it should really be. She's always well put together along with her husband. So it's a beautiful thing. Let's see. Priya Prasad, a very good young lady from Guyana who's supporting me behind the scene. And I know she have a question for you. Shamir Wahab, thank you very much for tuning in. Let's see who we have here. John from Queens. I'm not sure if you met him last night, but he's always contributing.
I didn't get a chance to, but I always say hello to him. I wish, I have 2 days more until Tuesday evening. I'll be leaving, but I still hitting up some of my friends. I know I met Freddie Ramcharan. He was on the other night show, and Sita Pandey. All those beautiful, lovely artists, Son. So, I'm happy to meet all of them for the 2 nights.
That's good. Anthony, really is there anybody that you were saying want to say hello to?
Not exactly here, but while I'm here, a good friend of mine got married yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, and so let me seize the opportunity to congratulate him and his wife and wish them nothing but the best. They're pretty young, or early 20s, so 2 young people embarking on a new chapter in life. I wish them all the best. The life has to offer, when it comes to marriage and children and everything. Lots of love and prosperity in that chapter.
Good. I see Shiv Gopal watching. Very beautiful. Wow. Lewis.
That's my sister.
Oh, very good. Well, your sister is very nice young lady. I see Louis Guan, love from Naikiri, Suriname. Let's see, we have again Nafisa Noor, Ryan Jeffrey, the man who is behind the scene, and he is from Island Zone Radio. And, you know, I always say thank you very much to him for giving me this opportunity to do all of this here. I see, thanks. You know, they always refer to you as Kanchan, which is a good thing. And I follow him too as referred to.
I see that.
She is our Guyanese Kanchan.
I tried.
Which is very good.
I think Farouk was at the show last night
Yes,
as well,
he
the
was,
other
yes.
night. He's doing a fantastic job, and Farouk took good care of me last night.
Oh,
I
that's
haven't
nice.
really met him for, first time.
Yes.
And he was like, oh, he treated me like a lady.
That's
and
a
I was
beautiful
like,
thing.
all these girls around me, and he was like, he come in, are you okay? Do you want to have a drink? I said, no, I'm not drinking. I'm eating tonight food.
Oh, good for you. I see my good friend all the way from Nigeria who is in New York, a registered nurse, Sylvester Ogugu. Thank you very much for tuning in, my brother. Let's see. Bashir Shah, very beautiful. Thank you for tuning in. Let's see. There's so much names and so much. Rani Lal. I don't know if you know that name. Janice Mangal. Thank you, DJ Sean. She says Raymond Ram Hiralal, all the way from Canada. Oh, and this guy, Jamir. I don't know you. I've ever met Jamir Mohammed, but he is a singer from Trinidad who is living in Canada, and he's singing some wonderful songs that really mean something. So I'm sure there's a lot you guys going to hear about Jamir, and I will be right there to support him in all that he does. Shalini Ramutar, one of my friends too. Let's see. Chan Ramdeen Satram, thank you for tuning in. Let's see. I am running.
We have Ryan Jeffrey.
That's right. That's
I
him
met him last night.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's the man I was
so
saying,
happy.
Ryan.
Yeah. He was
Sonia Debidin, who is on locked in too. Very nice of her. Jamir said much love to you, my brother. Yes. Veronica Jaglal, thank you. And you know what? We're gonna go and to the music now. And when we come back, we will get into some serious conversation with our two guests tonight. Let's go, DJ. And you are listening to the beautiful young lady next to me, Miss Girly Prasad.
बाजीगर में बाजीगर दिल वालों का मैं दिलबर बाजीगर में बाजीगर दिल वालों का मैं दिलबर ओ दिल ने क्यों दिल दिया है सौदा प्यार का किया है दिल की बाजी जीता दे हार कर
बाजीगर ओ बाजीगर तू है बड़ा जादूगर
पहली नजर में बनी है तू मेरे सपनों की रानी याद रखेगी ये दुनिया अपनी वफा की कहानी
ओ मेरा चैन चुरा के मेरी नींदें उड़ा के हो न जाना किसी मोड़ पर
बाजीगर में बाजीगर दिल वालों का मैं दिलबर
बाजीगर ओ बाजीगर तू है बड़ा जादूगर
ओ दिल ने क्यों दिल दिया है सौदा प्यार का किया है दिल की बाजी जीता ले हार कर
बाजीगर ओ बाजीगर
बाजीगर में बाजीगर
Yes, welcome back to the Ken Rampersaud Show here in New York. And I see I got a special young lady here who isn't from Canada, but she is from Shortville, Shanita Budu. Thank you very much for tuning in to my program. I got Rakia, another good friend, Jeff Robinson. He is a bird judge and a parrot judge who is out of state. I think it's California or Texas, one of those states. Thank you very much, Jeff, for watching the program. Russell Link, thank you for tuning in, my brother. Like I said again, Maria says, Girlie, my sis, you are an amazing singer, and I think you are getting the recognition you should be getting. You have a very beautiful, sweet, and soothing voice. Well, thank you very much. Such a beautiful comment. Right, when you hear that?
Thank you so much. That's very
Harris.
motivating. She's very encouraging. Thank you for those sweet words.
Yes, Golin Singh is from all the way from Lenora. Not too long ago, her mother died, and so again, our deepest sympathy. So let's go to some serious talk now. Girlie, at what age did you know that you wanted to sing?
Oh, well, I was going to school and we used to go to church and sing, and like the pundit in our village will come and say, oh, I want your two daughters to come to the temple. And when we don't have a drummer, he would ask me, you could play. And I start to play.
Really?
And I was playing drums in the church, and then I start playing the harmonium. He just lent us the harmonium to take home, and I just practiced. But there was not much time to practice, but I did that. And I started to sing at the age of like 8, 9, going to church, and
Wow.
and then first time I'm going on stage to sing is at school, where they're paying you to go and sing a song or act or do some skit. And if you can't have the money to pay to stop it, you have to do it,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And I didn't have money to pay to stop it, so I had to go on stage.
Right.
And I sang a song. I sang a nice song, and that's in high school. And then from then I started to know that, I can sing these songs and, rock in the hammock, singing. My dad used to play drums. We make coconut oil, and he would turn the barrel over and play drums for me, and I just sing Kanchan songs. And,
So
I know Kanchan songs since I was little, and I was like, all right, Kaise Bani, and I can sing Kaise Bani and Polarivina Chatani and all these songs.
Right.
So that's what bring me out in singing. And then when I get married at 22, my husband didn't want me to go about singing, and so I had to, make a decision to choose between him and music.
Wow.
And it's a hard thing to choose between someone.
Oh.
And you're building a family now.
Right.
And then you have to choose between music, and that's something I have a passion for. And
Right.
when my son was born, 1999, I said, you know what? I can't waste my talent. I'm going to go out there and start singing. I want to sing, and I'm going to sing in a competition where I got Force for Kanchan in Essequibo.
All right. Congratulations,
Thank
my
you.
dear. That's a good
That
thing.
was a good start for me. And
Okay.
I start singing back, and I feel that this is where I belong. I didn't really get much of support from some of your families, but my dad was always say, oh, that's my daughter. That's my daughter, dear. Oh, she is a star. He is so proud of me.
Oh, and nothing beat like when you have the support from your parents and your dad. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes, you get that urge to do more. Like even you have some loved ones who are close to you, and if they tell you that, oh, you sound good, go for it, girl, and don't give up, you get like a million times urge to go and do it.
Wow.
You know that
wow.
feeling.
And that's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. So I'm so glad that you are singing and you make so many people happy. And when you get comment like what Miss Harris said just now, and like I always said, it's always encouraging. This morning as I was driving, I was thinking, it's good when you have people encouraging you, cheering you on as you are going. That really does make a difference.
I
Eh?
know, yes. Yes.
And so let's go to Anthony. I'm going to let Anthony do some talk. He's a quiet guy, but very intelligent guy. He went to St. Rose's High School in Guyana, and then he went on to the University of Guyana. So Anthony, let's hear more of you. And tell me more about your job and so on that you did in Guyana for a young man.
All right, absolutely. Yeah, for a pretty young person, the portfolio is somewhat big.
Yes, yes.
But let's see what time or how time permits, and we can go on from there. So the full name is Stephen Anthony Singh, but a lot of people know me as Anthony.
Okay.
I answer to Anthony, I answer to Stephen, and I answer to Steve.
Right.
So I answered the three names. Born and raised in Anna Catherine. I've noticed that a lot of your guests and a lot of your viewers
Lenora?
are from Lenora.
Right.
And I must say that there is a large part of me that's from Lenora as well. My mom is originally from Leonora, my
Yes.
grandparents. And I spent most of my younger days, and like my nursery school days, my primary school days, in Leonora. So I have fond memories while growing up in Guyana and on the West Coast. Most of those times, they were spent in Leonora. So my childhood days, my childhood memories, they were from that area. So you might not know me, to all the Leonora people.
But his mother was
yeah.
Rachel Amjad, actually. Very petite young lady. But his I think your uncle was a popular guy out Sydney, is it?
Sydney would be from my father's side.
Right.
Right,
yes.
right. Yeah, but they were also very popular. They were into music, bands, and playing and what's not.
Right.
Yeah, and so maybe that might have paved way for the popularity back in the day.
Yes.
Yeah, but about me, I did do some things there in Guyana. For my I'm 28 now, and so I started what I had to do in Guyana at the age of 18. That's when I started working with the foreign ministry. And I noticed one of your viewers, Peter Ramchura, and he was just watching. He is one of the persons who can attest to me being a young man, just turned 18 years old, working there at the ministry. He would always come from time to time, and so he can definitely attest to where I started and where I am today. But I definitely had my share of studies. One of the things about my mother is I always say this. My mother, she started sending me to lessons before I started nursery school. And this is no lie.
Yeah.
And I think she did the same with me and all my siblings. She is bent on education and what's not.
Yes.
And
Like we
so-
all do, right?
Right.
Yes.
As most parents. But as we proceed with our dialogue and discussion tonight, we will touch on the issue of education as well
Right.
as young people who are
Yes.
who are inclined to different things, and we shouldn't force them down that path. Then I started working. I moved from the foreign ministry to the Ministry of Social Protection, where I was a gender affairs officer there. We were solely responsible. I worked for a department called the Men's Affairs Bureau, now known as the Gender Affairs Bureau. At the time, and I still believe it is the only one of its kind in the entire English-speaking Caribbean. And we were solely tasked with addressing social issues affecting men and boys in Guyana, and it translated itself into the Caribbean. Other Caribbean islands use what we drafted in Guyana as a template to institute programs in their administration there, in their islands. So we were very proud of that. We were very proud of the fact that we had initiated something that was the first of its kind in the Caribbean. We were very proud of the fact that we were seeing results. We're very proud of the fact that governments from other islands and islands there in the Caribbean region noticed what we were doing and come to us, for the help and use what we developed as a template. And so from there, I started doing a lot of implementation projects with the United Nations, ILO, UNFPA, and all of these things while still under 25 years old. And then eventually, I also have my bit of political life also,
Yes.
which is somewhat ticklish. I held two politically appointed offices in Guyana. And for a brief period, for like about a year or two, I sat on the Board of Advisory for the Caribbean Local Economic Development Program. Then eventually I became the director for Youth for Human Rights International, which is the human rights program at the United Nations. Then I became a youth ambassador, one of Guyana's youth ambassador, and subsequently I've been representing Guyana at the United Nations for the past 4 years.
And that I'm so proud of you to do all of this in such a young age, and you know it speaks volumes. So we can hear another song, and when we come back, we will talk to Girlie. I would want to know who was her real role model and why. Are we ready? You are watching the Ken Rampersaud Show here in New York.
This one.
You are listening to Girlie Prasad again, and she wants to send 2 greetings. Go ahead.
Okay, Julie saying, I'm on.
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, Julie. This song is dedicated to you and all the rest that is locked on. Enjoy. Do enjoy. I know you're at work, honey, but we will catch up sometime. And to Rakia, enjoy. Okay, guys.
You मुस्कुराए तुम पास आए यू मुस्कुराए तुमने न जाने क्या सपने देखा है
I want to say happy birthday to Juanita Khan, a very good listener of our program and always been supportive. I thought you met her last night too.
I think so. Yes, I met her. She's wonderful. Yeah, I met her last night.
क्या कर हाय कुछ कुछ होता है क्या कर हाय कुछ कुछ होता है
तुम पास आए यूं मुस्कुराए तुमने न जाने क्या सपने देखा है अब तो मेरा दिल जागे न सोता है क्या करवाए कुछ कुछ होता है क्या करवाए कुछ कुछ होता है
ना जाने कैसा एहसास है बुझती नहीं है क्या पास है
क्या नशा इस प्यार का मुझ पे सनम जाने लगा
कोई न जाने क्यों चैन होता है क्या करवाए कुछ कुछ होता है
क्या करवाए कुछ कुछ होता है
Yes, his Stephen mother is watching. Rachel, thank you for watching. Rachel sing.
क्या रंग लाई तेरी दुआ ये इश्क जाने कैसे हुआ बेचैनियों में चैन ना जाने क्यों आने लगा
तन्हाई में दिल यादें न सोता है क्या कर हाय कुछ कुछ होता है
क्या करवाए कुछ कुछ होता है
तुम पास आए यू मुस्कुराए तुमने न जाने क्या सपने दिखा है
तुम पास आए यूं मुस्कुराए
तो मेरा दिल जागे न सोता है क्या करूँ हाय कुछ कुछ होता है
क्या करवाए कुछ कुछ होता है
Welcome, guys, back to the Ken Rampersaud Show, and I'm so glad that so much of you tune into the program, and we are so happy that you guys, for a new guy in this business, thank you very much. Yeah, like I said, Anthony, I'm so glad your mother did such a fantastic job, and I've known her for so many years, and so proud of her and all that you're doing. Eileen is enjoying the Chinese from New York. I see Juanita Khan is back. Rakia, thank you for tuning in all the way from Canada. Diana Shiram, thank you very much for tuning in. Always good to have you guys in. I have someone that's listening to this program here tonight, and I don't want to talk too much about it, but she's in a very fragile state that needs a lot of support, and I can tell you I'll be there for you and I'll support you in whatever you're going through. It's someone that I'm talking to. I hope that you do what's right for you and what's best for you. As we all know, that domestic violence is not right, and I have we will dig into this in just a few minutes, all three of us, and we will give our views, especially my two guests. Today, I know that Girlie wanted to talk about your co-singer, the guy who did a song with you, with a couple songs with you. You can talk, Mr. Monisar, right?
Yes, Vishal. Welcome, Vishal. And I know he's locked on right now,
Yes.
too. Vishal, I have known him for so many years. Once when I made that album with him, he disappeared. I couldn't find him, but when I came to US, I went to a show in Virgin Island, and then I met Vishal once again, and I was like, oh my God, why you disappear? Anyways, I'm going to talk a little bit about that because we did an album together in Guyana. Vishal, I want to wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to your beautiful family and your lovely wife. She treats me very well respect when I go there. And your kids, you all are welcome to come go to Disney with me anytime. We start, this album was my idea. When I went to Demico, I used to sing on every Wednesday night, and I used to get a maid, like a nanny, to look my 3 children, and I go up there, and we will sing. And when I met Vishal for the first time, I said, boy, you have a wonderful voice, and you have a far way to go. And I saw other singers that keep him down and put him down, and I said to him, listen, we're going to do an album together, and we talk about it. In 2 to 3 weeks, we get prepared, and I said, come down to Georgetown. And we went to John Ali's studio. Everybody who from Guyana know we have El Sadiq Ban. John was a famous and a very respectable guy, and he did a lot for people in music, the Sugar Cake Girls.
Right.
And so I know Shabana, she's living in New York. If she's not watching, I know somebody will tell her, but we've been friends for many years. And so we went to John Ali's studio, me and Vishal. Vishal came in, my kids were little, 2 year, 3 year, and he was sitting on the floor with me, and we were learning our songs. And when we go into the studio, we did the recording, and John said, okay, girls, I want you all to listen to this one song. And the song was Omedi Sonari, and they said, oh, that's Lata, or that's Asha Brosley. And then he was like, no, look, the Asha Brosley is sitting down right there.
Oh,
she's the one that did the song.
Yes.
So, Vishal, was a pleasure to have you in my life, and we did great with our music and our singing, and we had a good, had a great team. We worked together. But nevertheless, I missed out on some years when you disappear, but I found you back, and I'm happy. So we're still going and getting there.
And
It's nice.
That goes to show, and I've said this. When I'm driving, I do a lot of thinking, and sometimes in our lives, we always want to get someone who can pick us up and take us to where we want to go. So the thing is that for me, I always think about my Shanaz Hussein, who picked me up and take me to where I am today. So I think that your friend, Mr. Monisar, is lucky to have you in his life to help him bring out this career. Before we go, I see some special people watching here too. I mean, all of you guys are watching. I have Dr. Tun. He is watching all the way from Virginia. And Dr. Tun, actually, he takes care of people from the veterans in Virginia and doing such a fantastic job. I love this man and doing a great job. So it's good to have you. Also, one of the top breeder, judge for birds too, Bob Vargo, all the way in New Jersey. Thank you very much, my friend. I didn't see you a long time, so it's good to have you tune into this program. Sheila Mangar, all the way from the Suriname. It's good to have you, my dear. It's good when you have people that's supporting you in this life, my dear. So let's see. What do you think and what would you say? Who was your biggest role model in the music business?
Well, honestly, I learn from the best. I don't learn from local. I always believe learning from the best. And Lata Mangeshkar,
oh Lord,
she is the best around the
Yes.
world. And after her, I started to do Asha Brosley. I like her style because, you see me, I am not a stick. I don't stand up. I like to dance, people. I like to shake. When I start singing, I'm standing up with my sari and I got my book. And I get it there and I got my mic and I'm singing. Next, you know, some of my fans would say, you're going to have to start dress English now. And you're going to have to come and start dancing.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm going to try a thing home.
Right.
And I go in front of the mirror and I try a little thing. And I
Yes.
say, oh God, you know what? I'm going to put on this outfit and I'm going to go next weekend and I'm going to sing.
Right.
And when I
dance
start
a
to
little
do
bit.
it now with Anand Prasad in Guyana, and I go on NTN program, and I go on another television program in Cam Street, and so I started to sing, and people come in out,
Move a little bit.
and I get in tips too. If you see money, what me does make, y'all don't get jealous, you know. So me does make little money coming to New York and America here when I start singing Orlando. Man, if you see me basket, it is full with money. You know what? I don't rob nobody. I just make my money by singing. And I
too much.
entertain them. I like to make people laugh. I like to put a smile on people's face, okay? So when I go out there, I want people to enjoy. When they go home, they must talk. If you want to talk bad about me, it's okay. The whole world is not going to love me. I learned one thing, Kenneth.
Yes.
Lata Mangeshkar, people love her. And then my lady Kanchan, I can't forget her.
Oh, yes.
I died to see her. I died to touch her hands. And this is how we do when we want to.
Right.
And, you know, my role model is Lata Mangeshkar.
Beautiful.
So, and when I started the dancing part is when I decided to sing me Kanchan. So, you know, I love these artists. You know, some people like Michael Jackson and some don't. So you can have the whole world to love you.
Yes.
You're singing, I'm a singer, and I have some people love me, and some may not like me. They want to say something. Go right ahead, it's okay. But if you can't say something good, don't say nothing. Just watch and pass.
You know, saying that it's good to have people, like you said, it's good to have support, and not everyone will like what you do. And one thing that we have to learn is that, you know, the negative things that comes out of people is actually how they're feeling. So we have to learn that and take things easy. I see we have Paul Narine. I don't know if you know Paul Narine. He's from Stroudsville.
Oh yes, I
Stroudsville,
absolutely know Paul Narine. Yeah.
Yes, so it's good to have you on, Paul. And my good friend Deepa Dasrat, all the way from Guyana. I see Bibi Hack just tuned in. Another registered nurse, Delia Season Ramos. She was an ICU nurse at North General Hospital for many years. She have done so much in nursing. So I'm so glad I have so much nurses on. So I'm going to ask you the same question to Anthony. In your life, you know, you have met so much people in all walks of life. Who was one person that really stand out and really helped you in life to where you are today?
Absolutely. Without hesitation, I can answer this question. So when I started going to St. Rose's High School, and I really wish she was watching this right now. When
She can watch it later on anyway. You could send it to her.
No, it's a he
Yes.
actually.
Oh, he, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when I started going to St. Rose's High School, I met this friend, and we became best friends, and we went through our entire high school days being close friends.
Yes.
It just happens that her father was a pastor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know Pastor Patrick Findlay.
No, I don't.
Anyway, he does a TV program as well where he preaches in
Good.
Guyana also, and his church is on the East Coast. So growing up as a young man, I would always call the home, to talk to my friend and what's not, and he was very, very intimidating. And so I used to call like maybe like once a week or once every 2 weeks, and I can vividly recall when I was like maybe 13 or something. He was like, "Why are you calling this house so often?"
Yes.
And I'm telling you, it's like once, maybe a week or every 2 weeks or something. Anyway, as I grew older, I began to really look at this individual as a role model.
Yes.
And all that he's been doing. And I tell you the truth, most of what I am today and most of what I've accomplished in my professional working life, it's as a result of this individual always having my back, or saying, Stephen, go on and what's not. Eventually, he became the permanent secretary, the deputy permanent secretary for ministry, and went on to being the permanent secretary for the Ministry of Labor. So he had his portfolio as well. But this individual who knew me since I was 11 years old,
wow,
and watched me grow into the young man today. But what caused me to really look up to this person is when he would tell you stories of the days when he would ride bicycle and sell fish and bread.
Yes.
And to come from there to being second in command after a minister, it causes you as a young person, because I was very young, I was like 21, 22 years old, it causes you as a young person to say to yourself that if somebody can do this,
yes,
then I'm on the right path, and I definitely can do this as well. It is not going to be easy. The road is never easy.
Absolutely.
And we can say without any doubt, undoubtedly, that the road to anything that is good is never easy.
True.
And so I looked up to him. Eventually, that fright and fear that I had for him growing up,
yes,
it started to go away, and I started to look at this person as an individual in whom I can confide, in whom I can with whom I can speak things. And as much as he was a pastor, he was a PS. I was a young man. I could have gone with him to anything,
yes,
with anything, and to know the kind of response that I would get. It came a place. It doesn't matter how bad or terrible this, whatever it is, might have been. I knew this was the one person that I can take it to. I mean, he might rebuke you at times, but the encouragement that comes after is always worth it. So right off the bat, Mr. Patrick Findlay is one person that I've always looked up to, and there are a whole host of people. But when we talk about most of what I've become from a young man to now in my working life and what's not, I have to give credence to him.
That's a beautiful thing. Good to have him in your life. And
absolutely.
I always say that when you go through hard time in life, it makes you a better person, and we will go to that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We will talk about that in a minute. I know Girly is anxious to send some greetings out to some of our friends. So Girly, go ahead and tell all those you want to tell hello. Go ahead, use the mic.
All right. First of all, I want to thank my special friend Barbara Budram. She's my best friend from since I was like about over 30 years. We're, I think, 31 or 30, around that. We are friends since then. And, when she came to this country just a year or two, I think, and, I invite her to Orlando. I bought her ticket and I said, come over and spend a week with me.
Oh, beautiful.
Now, when I come here to New York, she will take time off and take me all around. Today we went shopping, and I feel so happy, and we eat. We had lunch together.
That's nice.
And then I said, we're going to Ken's show. And she said, okay, go and enjoy yourself. When you finish with Ken, we're going to party a little bit. So, I want to send out greetings to her, and I want to thank her to take the time off and to be there for me. Also, I want to say special thank you to my niece, Rajni, who picked me up from the airport, and to all these beautiful friends that are watching. Shanta Singh, I don't know you. I don't have to know you to send out greetings to you, but thank you for tuning in. Also, I want to say hi to Roshan. I met him last night, and he said, why you didn't come on my program? I said, well, why you didn't talk to me? So, people reach out to me, too. We all have phones. We don't have to make appointment to make a phone call or a text message.
Right.
But Roshan, I still will try to come maybe tomorrow night if you permit. So maybe on Sokaraja. I want to say good evening to Sokaraja, my friend. He always send out greetings and play my song as well.
That's good. That's good.
Shanaz as well. I don't know if she's locked on, but Shanaz, you're doing an awesome job, sweetheart. Keep up the good work. And Terry Gadraj, my brother. He always take me on a little show somewhere here, dear, and he always support me. He's a wonderful, wonderful human being. To all our DJs, I want to say thank you all very much. You all are doing a fantastic job. I can't call all the names, but a few that I remember, watching your programs. Sometimes I can't tune into all the programs, but I do enjoy all the programs.
And I'm very glad to have you tuning in every week on my program and Shana's program, and then you also share my
Thank you, Kenneth. It's a pleasure. I always like to, smile with people, help them to grow, and let them get there. Yes,
I see my cousin R.T. Ramphal tune in from Tushin or Metmirzak. Thank you very much. Tell your mom I'm on the radio now. I see she was calling me just now. I see Chandra Peters. Thank you very much for tuning in again, Baby Hack. It's good to have you. People need to love each other with love and respect and not pulling each other down. Life is too short. I'm so glad that you say that, Lenai. We all need to exercise that to make this a better world. Vishal Munisar, it's so good to have you on. I hope that you continue to tune in, and good to have your sister next to me. Let's see who else we have. My teacher actually in Guyana, and I always give credence to my teachers in Guyana, Miss Chandrauti Ferrier. I always respect my teachers, and I give them the credit for making the kind of man that I am today. We're going to get some song playing just now. I see my sister Juliet Rampersaud. She is watching. She said, love your music. We grew up with music, so continue. Yes. Who else? Let me see what Vishal says. Look at my girl, Girly Passat. Always a pleasure singing with you. We had some good times on stage.
Yes.
Hari Reen, Rato, thank you.
We did had some great times, and we're looking forward to have some better times. Okay?
I see Todd Control. Thank you very much for tuning in. And let's go to some music here. I know that you guys, while you guys like to hear us talk a little bit, we are going to go to the music. And when we come back, we will talk a little bit about domestic violence. We're going to talk about how we can uplift each other to make this a better world. Okay? Let's go. Are we ready?
सुनो कहा कुछ हुआ क्या.
This is the man Vishal and our queen Miss Girly Passad. Kanchan.
हाँ कहा कुछ हुआ क्या.
अभी तो नहीं कुछ भी नहीं.
और चली
हवा
झुकी
गता
कुछ हुआ क्या.
अभी तो नहीं कुछ भी नहीं.
तेरी कसम ये दिलकश नजारे करते हैं इशारे जो समझे कोई.
मेरी सनम ये खामोशियाँ ये करती है बातें जो समझे कोई.
समझा नहीं तुम समझा दो.
अरे सुनो
हाँ कहो
कहा
और सुना
कुछ हुआ क्या.
अभी तो नहीं कुछ भी नहीं.
Andrew Ramdial, thank you very much for watching all the way from Minnesota.
बस जो चले तो सुबह से लेकर रहूं शाम तक में तेरे रंग में.
अगर हो सके तो मैं अपने दिल पर तेरा नाम लिख दूं हर एक रंग में.
बातों
कुछ हुआ क्या
अभी तो नहीं कुछ भी नहीं
अच्छा कभी फिर बात छेड़ेंगे मर्जी नहीं है तुम्हारी अभी
कुछ हो गया तो बड़ी होगी मुश्किल कि छोटी उम्र है हमारी अभी
मैं क्या करूं बतला दो
सुनो
हाँ कहो
कहा
और सुना
कुछ हुआ क्या
अभी तो नहीं कुछ भी नहीं चली
हवा
झुकी
गता
कुछ हुआ क्या
जरा सा कुछ हुआ तो है जरा
Welcome back to the Ken Rampersaud Show on Island Zone Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say welcome, and if you tune in, get your coffee or get your tea, get comfortable. I'm with two beautiful souls who are ready to make a difference in each other's life. And so get on to some serious discussion. Girlie, we know, and in Guyana and around the world, a lot of women staying in domestic violence, abusive relationship. In my opinion, I always like to see women make themselves marketable, go to school, get an education, and don't stay in any abusive situation. You are a celebrity in our community. Mm-hmm. People will listen to you a little bit more. What advice do you have for people who are in abusive situation? How do you help them?
Well, honestly, there are lots of young women and even elder women who've been abusive in relationship, and they're scared because they're thinking of society. If I leave my husband, my auntie gonna laugh at me, my cousin gonna laugh at me, or my neighbor's gonna laugh at me that, oh, I've been living so long with this man, and oh, you have to bear and stay. But this is different times.
Right.
You have children, girl children. You wouldn't like that to happen to them, right? And if you don't have a daughter, then you came from a mother, and if your mother is being in an abusive relationship, you wouldn't want to see your mother get hit by your father or another man. So I would like to encourage the young people, whoever is in an abusive relationship, to if you don't have no one to tell a friend, call a stranger. You don't have to be blood. You don't have to be blood to help someone. Tell a stranger. And explain your story, your problem, and try to get out of that relationship, because staying is going to be more harm. You might hurt yourself. They might kill you. They can kill you and commit suicide, and all these things can happen.
As we see a lot of
and
times.
even kill the children, because I remember back in the days, like about 30 years ago, I remember in West Coast where that guy murdered all the children.
6 children?
Oh my God, I cried. I didn't know these children and this family, but I remember that story because my brother used to go and sell oil in Lenora.
Oh, really?
And we just go to see a movie with him. And when we heard that was the sad story. And then we are seeing so many abusive relationship and suicidal thing is going on now. So, don't stay in that relationship. Please talk to someone. If you don't want to call no one, reach out to me. Come on your messenger and try to talk to me. I like to, talk with people and encourage people to be better themselves and get out of the relationship.
That's right. And I know the story that you were talking about, where a man in Guyana, in Lenore, actually he murdered about 6 of his children and his wife. I was eating roti and bhaji curry that day when this happened, and I ran to see this. We couldn't get to see actually, but what was a sad story in Lenore, and people still. There was one daughter who really survived that incident. I don't know which part of the world she is. Also, I want to piggyback on what Girlie was saying. if you don't want to talk to your family, which I encourage you, it's a good thing to talk to your family. Let them know exactly what's going on. The way you can do is call, like if you are in New York, you can call 911. There is a lot of numbers you can Google and find where you can call and get help. I want to say hello to John Nimat and Neela Pawaru. Neela is also, she's a fighter for domestic violence and suicide prevention. And I want to say greetings to you and your family and Happy New Year. Now, Mr. Anthony, you know, you are a young man growing up. What's your take? What advice do you really have for young men who you see trying to abuse their wife? What's your take?
I want to take this on two fronts.
Go ahead.
First, I'll speak to women as well as men.
Go ahead.
Also, with the issue of domestic violence, we can all agree that it is an issue that is broad-based, and it doesn't stick to one society. For some reason, this is an issue that affects every community, every society, every country. And for some reason also in our society, growing up as Guyanese, in the Guyana context there, whenever we hear about domestic violence, the first thing that comes to mind is the physical aspect of it. Mm-hmm. And also the first thing that comes to mind is a woman being abused by a man physically. And while I don't want to be biased, I want to strike a balance and say this. More than 90% of the times, the perpetrator will be the man abusing the woman.
Absolutely.
But we cannot deny the fact that we live in a day where men themselves become victims of domestic violence also. And while we're on that topic, let me say, there is a broad definition for domestic violence, and it deals with violence that occurs within the confines of the home, the family setting, and it spans itself, not just a man abusing a woman or a woman abusing a man, but it also translates itself to children. And you will find that most of the times, children are the ones who are greatly affected by instances of domestic violence. I think you want to do something, and then I'll continue.
No, I was telling you to watch the camera. The camera straight ahead of you. So.
I was looking at you. Sorry about that. Yeah, and so I can continue.
Continue, sorry.
And like I mentioned, when we first hear about domestic violence, what first comes to mind is the physical aspect of it. What we want people to know is that it is more than just physically hitting somebody. Abuse comes in all forms. Physical being the most common, then there's verbal, cursing, and saying derogatory things to a child or to your spouse. It comes in the form of financial abuse, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, economic abuse. And so I just want to say this, that we should know that if you're being cursed at or being spoken of derogatorily, it is a form, you are a victim of some form of domestic violence if it's happening within the confines of the home. If you are not the sole breadwinner in the home and your husband denies you some sort of financial stability, it is a form of economic and financial abuse. Withholding things from you, things that are dear to you, memories, not allowing you, and we find this so much in our Guyanese society where, the husband denies the wife, you can't go, you can't go to see your family, you can't go to see maybe your parents or whatever. It's a form of psychological abuse. And so all these things fall within the bracket of domestic violence, and now we call it gender-based violence also. Mm-hmm. And importantly, I'd like to note that one form of abuse or one form of violence, or we can use the word abuse here, one form of abuse sets the stage or it leads to another form. And you can attest to the fact that in most cases, it's an argument. Mm-hmm. It's some form of verbal abuse that escalates into things getting physical. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned something just now about murder-suicide. Mm-hmm. Before we used to see just murder, but things have gone to a place where it's blown out of proportion. Mm-hmm. It's on a downward spiral, And we see that perpetrators now become victims of their own hands, in that they commit a murder and then they commit suicide.
Right.
And so, and like our co-host mentioned, it is not a situation that we would ever encourage somebody to stay in. We do believe that in instances where there's violence happening in the home, there is scope and there's hope for things to be mended, and you can eventually live a happy life together. But if things have gone to a place where maybe the only thing, maybe the only outcome might be is someone losing their life as a result, then without any delay, we caution to seek help and get out of that situation.
Yes, and going back to that, a lot of times I am in a different position, and I'm the one who talking. But I'm glad that you're saying all of this, and it's so important that we have family members support us in so many ways. We really need our support, the support from our family to
Absolutely.
help us there. And I want to say this too, and because I'm at your position sometime that what I'm doing the talking, but it's hard for anyone who's been abused. They will need therapy. It's a traumatic situation, and I know of one that I'm involved in right now, and that's why I encourage family members. It's hard. Don't abandon your family because they want to go back. We need to be there to support them, to help them. And we understand that sometimes because of love. But I've always said in my mind, if you love someone, you're not going to beat them.
Absolutely.
And that is
Totally
totally
agree.
unacceptable.
Yep.
Especially, with these young girls saying, you know what, I love my husband, I'm going to serve him. I have a message for you girls. You know what, if your husband is beating you so bad and causing so much problems for you, is breaking your hand, hitting you in your head and all these things, when you go to the police, please, let the police do their job. If they give you an order of protection, please don't go and violate that protection. We see time and time over and over again that, girls go and get murdered, and they said, they're going to see this guy on the download that nobody go. No, don't do that. Stick by the rules of all of this. So again, if you're getting abused, I'm going to encourage you girls, especially if you said 90% of ladies are getting abused. And there is nothing in this world, no house, no car, no plane or whatever it is, no amount of money that would want to make you to stay there, because you know what, your life is very precious, if you know what I mean. Your life and every other thing else is material things, doesn't mean anything after you go through all these things. I am going to encourage you, ladies, especially ladies, because you guys cannot really fight back. Just walk away, just find, and then you can get some help. I always want to be there for you guys. If anything, call me. There is no problem in calling me. We're going to keep, we want to say hello to Haseen Banu, who's tuning in all the way from Anna Katrina. Thank you very much. I see Waterflow just tuning in. I saw Waterflow last night. Good to see you. Rita Singh, my good friend, True Kenneth, saying, brother, and Rita, I really do appreciate all your wisdom too. And tell you guys that sometimes, I'm coming here every week, and during the week, I have so much people that support me behind the scene. And one of them is Rita, who always encourages me and to say, Ken, continue this, or you can do this. Maria too. So I want to tell you guys, thank you so much. And it really does mean a lot, because I alone cannot really fight this. And the more people we have together, the more we team up, things can make a difference. I see Robert Ramp. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to send some greetings, and then we will go for some music. Who else do we have here? It's good to have Waterflow is here too.
Waterflow, he said, what? Abine Badata beat me up this morning. Oh God, you got to seek help now, Waterflow.
Waterflow always talking something there.
He actually put in a smile on everyone's face, I guess.
Yeah, well, you know what.
I want to say hello to Bibi Hack, Robert, all you lovely people that locked on.
Yes, and I also want to say thank you to Sarah Daisy Singh. She always talked to me to, of things that I can do, how I can navigate some help here in New York. I see Priya Prasad say, Ken, them say that when the man best beat them, is real love, and I don't sanction that at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's not real love. You don't beat nobody up. I see Barbara Budram said, "You are sure right, young man. Our children are the ones to psychologically affected in domestic homes," and
yes.
absolutely,
That's
Louis.
my friend here,
Oh, really?
Barbara.
All right,
Yeah.
Barbara, and tell Barbara to tune in that because you're here today.
Yes,
She gonna
I know.
stop.
I told her, she said, "Oh, girlie, you have to invite me." I said, "I will."
Okay,
I always
good.
invite a lot of people, but
Thank you.
sometimes I think if they're upset that I'm sending it in their messenger, and then I said, okay, if they're upset, it's all right,
Right,
to be
right.
upset at times.
You know, we want to, girlie, one of the reasons I am doing this program, I spend a lot of time in my day during the week to do research, to study things, and to see what I want to talk about, and to, we make a lot of efforts, Anthony, it's
Yes.
not easy to pull off one of these shows. Sometimes you have to know what you're talking
Right,
about.
right.
So I'm so glad to have you. Luis Morales, thank you very much for tuning in. Let's go for a song. We've been talking a lot of time. I see our good friend, I don't know if you know her, Miss Hamilton, Roxanne Hamilton, all the way from
Yes, I
Florida, a
know
very
her.
good soul.
Yeah, I always say hi to her, but I didn't really know her that much.
Well, take my word, she's a beautiful
a
soul. You can
sweetheart.
trust her.
I know.
You can trust her.
Seems like a wonderful person.
She is. I can tell you. She helped my sister one time when my sister had some problem in Florida. So I said, that's my sister from my other mother.
Nalini said, Happy New Year to you and your family. Oh, yes, thank you, sweetheart. Nalini, I met you twice. I hope I'm going to meet you tonight again.
All right, let's go. Are you ready, DJ? Let's go.
ओ मेरी सोना रे सोना रे सोना रे मेरी जान चुरा मत होना रे मैंने तुझे जरा दी रुकी जाना हुआ कसूर छुपा मत होना रे मैंने तुझे जरा दी रुकी जाना हुआ कसूर छुपा मत होना रे ओ मेरी सोना रे सोना रे सोना ओ मेरी बाहों से निकल के तू अगर मेरे रास्ते से बच जाएगा तो लहराके उबल पाके मेरा साया तेरी सांसें में बच जाएगा तुम छोड़ो लाख
I have to interrupt this to say we have Shabir back. She's one of your ardent supporters. This guy love you, so that's a good thing.
Shabir, I didn't see him, but anyways, it's good that you're sending greetings. Shabir, enjoy your song. You're always supportive.
He's
in any
always-
way, and you always put a smile on my face as well. To you and your family, Happy New Year.
Hi, Maureen. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you, Rita. Thank you, Rita.
ओ बनावट की सारी
ना ही लच और उलझन में पड़ जाए ओ पछताऊंगी कुछ ऐसे के ये सुर्खी लबों की उतर जाएगी ये सदा तुम भूल जाना प्यार को कर मत लगाना ये चला जाओ मैं पीड़ में न जाने कहाँ
ओ मेरी सोना रे सोना रे सोना
Fasila Hussein, thank you very much for tuning in. John Nimmer, thank you for tuning in.
मैंने तो
Stanley, thank you for tuning in.
रूनी जाना हुआ कसूर तूफान मत होना रे मैंने तुझे जरा दी रूनी जाना हुआ कसूर तूफान मत होना रे
Good evening back again, and welcome to the Ken Rampersaud Show here on Island Zone Radio. As you know, I have two smart and talented young people here. To my right is the beautiful Girly Passad, and then we have on the extreme right is Anthony Passad, a young man who I'm very proud of. He's like my son. I know his mother for many, many, many years, and I know Kamini asked, yes, I'm old. I know this guy before. I know him, his mother a long time ago, more than 30 years ago. And he's the ambassador for Guyana, which is a good thing, and I know he have bigger things coming in. Right about now, I know Girly have a lot of people of her family and friends watching, so she would want to send out some greetings. Go ahead, Girly.
I see Shazida Singh. She says, "Oh, hey, darling, party on here now." I know the party's still on. Very good afternoon to you as well, Maria Harris. We have Babe Hussein. Barbara said there are two things that cause a broken marriage: is when a woman has been denied of finance or romance. Here is where domestic violence begins. The husband wants to kill. And that's true. I want to say special good afternoon to Robert Ramp, Mavis Kisun, my beautiful friend, Stanley. You guys are wonderful. Thanks for tuning in. We have Annie Dickey. We have...
Mavis Kisun, thank you for tuning in.
Yeah,
Bibi
Baby
Hussein.
Hack, Bakewell Halal. Bakewell Halal, very good afternoon to you as well. Shabir Bax, once again, I know you are having a great time. Happy New Year to all of you, and that all of you that tune in. I want to say very heartily welcome, and thank you all for having me as well on your show. Ken, you're doing an awesome job. Keep it up.
Thank you. Well, you know, I'm new to this, and I'm going to get better as the year come.
I know.
You see Annie Dickey, thank you for tuning in. Big Well Halal, it's good to have them on us. And please encourage your friend. Please don't leave me as you go. That let them continue to look at this show. I see Nafiza Noor says, walaikum salam to Sister Bibi Haq. Yes.
Oh, we also have Mr. Pete Passad. He's the one that owns Pete's Caribbean Fusion. I start with him.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, I start singing with him, and I did one song at Starlight, and then
good
he
for him.
sent some guys to come and get me to join the band. And Mr. Pete, you're a wonderful person always. I want you to know that. You did great job by, giving people an opportunity to sing music, musicians and artists in Guyana. And I want you to keep it up. I want to wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you and your family. Okay?
You know, and in saying that, it's so nice and good to have people that's there. The world still has a lot of good people.
Absolutely.
And people who can help us, unlike me. Somebody was good to me, and then you and our
Yes.
friend Anthony over there. So it's a good thing, and still good to have people. And please continue to be a good soul and a good ambassador for the world, right? So what are we going to talk about? Empowering women. I believe, and it is always my thing, that we should empower young women, young girls as they're going to school. I am always an advocate for when to go to school. Anthony, what is your take for young men growing up who actually was like me at one time, that, you know what, they went to school, they didn't excel in their school, but I said, look at me today. What's your advice for those young men that's growing up? And I want you to touch a little bit about abuse, how you will encourage them not to abuse women.
Okay, so a twofold question. Well, let's deal with the issue of young men and abuse and domestic violence. To a large extent, I believe the dynamics have changed from then to now. Again, it comes back to the culture that we were raised in. I can remember when I was younger, there was a great sense of women's subserviency to men. And the men were always placed on this pedestal, the whole issue of superiority. And with that came this whole idea that they can treat a woman because a woman is just a woman. And that was the education, not the education, that was the social construct back in the day. But but that has changed over the years. Now, in my generation, boys from a tender age, they be nurtured to see women as a partner, to see somebody as equal, to see somebody that they need to look out for. I always say, for me, I always see like all the girls in my street and my cousins and stuff. I believe that I, as a young man, have a responsibility to look out for them. You know, and we did a program just a few weeks ago, and we touched on this very thing. How do we as young men approach this whole issue of women empowerment and young ladies being empowered? We should be happy. We should be happy that our young girls are being educated, that they're being that they're being put at a place where they can be independent and provide for themselves. And it also helps us as young men because she is now in a place where we can lean on her, she can lean on me, and that partnership there, you know, it brings harmony. But the issue is when a young man becomes insecure because of a woman's ability to do more, that there shouldn't be. We need to look at our insecurity as young men.
Very important.
So I believe to a large extent, while it is still in existence, that some young men might find themselves in a place where they might want to be abusive in whatever form we mentioned earlier. I believe the dynamics are changing, and lesser you will find that that young boys now entering into marriage will want to hit their wife, of course, or what's that. And it comes from all the sensitization and all these avenues that have been opened up for education on equality and how a man should treat a woman, and the whole issue of violence in the home and what's that. This in itself is a form of sensitization, and this here will have a rippling effect that will cause a young man approaching marriage or in a relationship to not treat his partner the way that maybe he saw his father treated his mother or some other person. That, and also when it comes to the whole issue of young men and what was it, education?
Yes. To make, I always believe in making women, girls.
Education is the key. I mean, educate them. If they don't have this knowledge, they can't even think for themselves. Like, you know, something is bothering them. Even to think to go to someone, and they don't have this knowledge. They just feel that, okay, this is life. This is all I know.
Right.
Right?
Right. Right.
So
The other thing that I say with young girls, and a lot of time I see, young girls, they want to drop out of school and they're not taking their education, or they're not, their head is not taking it. What would you encourage them to do? Like I tell people, we are not all born to be educated people.
Absolutely.
And what do you? Some are good in trade. So take that away.
Absolutely. And this goes out to both young ladies and young men. While some people are cut out for the school, some people, they're good in skills. They can do things with their hands. Absolutely, there are things that other young men can do that I may never be able to do.
Yes.
And vice versa.
Me too, yes.
Right? And so I always say that's why vocational studies, it's good. In Guyana, we have the Guyana Technical Institute, and we have all these other avenues where whether you can do welding, plumbing, so many things. There's a big word for it called dexterity, where you're good with doing things with your hands, right? And we will find now that when you're a skilled person, for some reason you make more money now.
Right, yeah.
with your skill and your talent. So do not in any way be discouraged. Do not in any way be discouraged if you find that, well, my grades aren't as good as my brothers. I have two younger brothers, and I am nowhere smart like them.
Really?
You know.
So I want to see how smarter they are. How they are.
Nowhere smart like them, but I'm not discouraged. I know for a fact that I can do what they do,
Oh, really?
and they in turn turn to me for other things. And so that's how it is. Don't ever be discouraged. For girls, there's so many avenues. I have an aunt. She is so skilled in cake decorating and cooking.
Oh, I
and
know
she-
her
she
too,
went-
yes.
Oh, Rosina, right?
Right, yeah.
She can do so much, and she has a secular job also. And so, as I was saying to you earlier during the music break, I believe every soul has a unique skill that we need to capitalize on,
Right.
and that skill, we work and nurture that skill, and that skill will work for us eventually.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. And that's why I tell young people, you know what? You should go to school and take. It's good to have a basic education, and from there you take it and run with it. Probably, like you said, you can do sewing. You know, you can do
Anything.
cooking, cake decorating, and so many other things. So, I encourage you
If I
guys. and
tell you
girls-
the truth, I wish on a day like today if I had known a skill.
Oh, yeah?
Believe me, yes, absolutely, because it comes in so handy. You never know when. What if I'd known to fix a car? I wouldn't have to run to the mechanic. I save $1.
Right,
Right.
right.
And so it is absolutely important. If you know you have a skill, capitalize on it.
Yes,
Yes.
it is good to know a lot of stuff like multitask. You can do so many things to save. On the
Yes,
side
and as a nurse,
and
I
to help
try
some
to.
people. Yeah.
I try to do a lot of multitasking. You know, girlie. I see we have 586.
I am seeing,
oh my God! I hope
I
we
wanna
don't miss
say-
anyone.
All right, I want to just apologize if we don't. If we don't,
If we miss any
if
names.
we miss any names and we didn't send greetings to you, we want to apologize from now. Me and my host and Ken here, my co-host, we want to apologize to you guys. I'm seeing John Naimat.
John
He's
Naimat,
saying
sorry.
I call a name right, but he's my friend as well.
Oh, that's good.
Domestic violence from young man is due to lack of education. Yes, that's so true. And lack of education and having a drinking problem lead to domestic violence.
Yes,
That
and you know,
is so true.
I want to say it causes more problem with when you're drinking. It exacerbates things a little bit more. I see. Let's read some comment. I see.
Thank you, Mavis Kisoon. She said very intelligent words from your talks. My
Thank you.
co-host. Yeah, you have to say something to the audience as well.
Yes.
Go ahead, Ken.
You know,
I'm
Kenneth,
trying
this
to read
word-
the comments, but they're not loading
Go
as
ahead.
fast.
He said, I see Shanta Singh says, you know, Kenneth, this world is full of domestic violence and females do not expose their story because of being scared and fear of their life. And also their family life become a lot. Men turn to gambling and alcohol and smoking. Some men lost respect for their home because of lack of education also. And I think that when you have love in your life and you grow up with love, you know, you would not go on to do these things. I know a lot of guys who probably was in an abusive relationship, don't have no kind of education, but they went on to live good lives. And you see
Absolutely.
a lot in your community
Absolutely.
and so on. So we're going to ask our DJ to get ready to play a song. And when we come back, we will talk a little bit about suicide and what can we do with suicide. So my two guests, I know they will come up with something, and I'm right here to jump in where the need is. So let's go, DJ. We are ready to rock.
हम सफर में हम सफर पंख तुम परवाज हम जिंदगी का साज हो तुम सांस की आवाज
हम सफर मेरे हम सफर पंख तुम परवाज हम जिंदगी का गीत हो तुम गीत का अंदाज
Neela, I agree with you. People who are educated also beat their wives and in domestic violence. So I agree with you.
ने सुन ले दूजे दीवाने की बात
प्यार की तुम इंतहा को प्यार ना आवाज हम प्यार का आवाज
हम सफर मेरे हम सफर पंख तुम परवाज हम
जिंदगी का गीत हो तुम गीत का अंदाज हम
सफर मेरे हम सफर जिक्र हो अब आसमां का या ज़मीं की बात हो
कितनी होती है तुम्हें पर अब कहीं की बात हो
वो हंसी तुम महज़बी तुम नाज़नी तुम नाज़ हम नाज़नी तुम नाज़
हम सफर मेरे हम सफर पंख तुम परवाज हम
जिंदगी का सास हो तुम सास की आवाज हम सफर मेरे हम सफर पंख तुम परवाज हम जिंदगी का सास हो तुम सास की आवाज हम
Welcome back to the Ken Rampersaud Show here on Island Zone Radio and on Facebook Live. You know, John asked a good question, and I thought she was going to sing a song. Guess what? On her way here, when I went to pick her up, her mic fell. She planned to sing with her music and everything in her mic, and I didn't know she had such a sophisticated mic.
I planned.
And
yes.
yeah, she planned to sing, but now,
But
I still,
I'll
she
do a
can
little
still do
live.
something.
Don't worry, right here. I'll
She's
do a
gonna
piece for
sing
John.
something.
Kenneth.
Special.
Go ahead.
Okay, if you can permit me, Roxanne raised a very interesting point here with regards to young men who would have been raised in a home seeing their father abusing their mother and emulate this to be a normal behavior. I can remember when I used to work at the ministry, we always presented a scenario with two sons being raised in the same home, one seeing this and accepting it as normal behavior, and one saying, you know what, I'm not going to do this. So there was always this question, is this kind of thing, is it a learned behavior? Can it be unlearned? But very interesting point. What we need to do, that is why education and sensitization is absolutely important. Because what if I'm a young man who was raised in a home where I witnessed this thing, and to me, this is the definition of love, and you were saying the whole issue of beating or what's not. It is not love expressed in any way, cursing,
Right.
beating, violence in any way. That is not an expression of love. But to the young man, oh, this is how my father expresses
Yes.
love. It is not normal behavior.
Absolutely.
That is why these kinds of sensitization and education, they're absolutely important. It is imperative that young men who nurture this thought and idea, it can be unlearned. I absolutely believe it can be unlearned with this kind of
And
education.
especially with therapy and so on. And I wanted to give you guys an example of me, and I use my own self as an example. You know, I did not grow up in any kind of abusive situation with physical abuse and so on. My dad actually used to tell me a lot of things, like, it better I plant a mango tree or a coconut tree before I make you. You know what I'm saying? And that did bothers me. But you know what, Anthony, that I would not tell my children.
Absolutely.
I would not want my child
will
to
not.
grow up thinking that, you know what, it's better I plant a mango tree, and you know what I'm saying. I want to learn. In my opinion, all the things that I didn't like what my dad did or my family did, I choose not to go and do it. So,
Exactly,
you know what I'm saying?
exactly,
My
exactly.
dad never know to read and write. I could have choose not to go to school.
Absolutely.
But thank God, I said, you know what? I want to be better than my father. And I want my sons to be better than me. And, you know, I
There
got
you
a couple
go.
of young men here, and I always, every day, they will tell you, I am on their tail. They have to go and better me. They have to go and do things that's good.
Right,
So, yes, you can get therapy. And you know what? One of the things that we have to do, if you know, you have to accept that you have a problem. And when you accept you have a problem, it's a good thing. And that's a good start. And you have to say, you know what? I'm beating my wife up. This is not a good thing. I cannot go to bed and sleep properly and got my wife crying outside and so on. Like, you know, right now I know there's an individual
Everybody's
story,
different.
like the husband, without calling any name, sleeping in the bedroom, and the wife is sleeping in the living room. And that so irked me, because I wondered to myself, how can you sleep in the bedroom, on the bed, comfortably, and you have your wife sleeping outside on the chair? And to me, and it's sad. And like Neela says, you know what, this guy that I know is someone who's educated more than I am, and did more probably reading than I did. So yes, you know what, abuse can, if you're poor, if you're rich, you're black, you're white, no matter wherever culture you came from, you know, it's the same thing. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? You
right.
can get into abusing people.
Right.
So I encourage people, and that's why I am doing this program, and I want people to come and speak out. I can sit down and talk to Girlie all night about her career and all the accolades that she gets and so on in Guyana and the United States. But I also want to tackle problems, and being a celebrity in our community and being an educated young man like you are, I want us all to tackle things, and collectively we can really make a difference in
Right.
our community.
Of course,
If you know what I
yes.
Like
mean.
Andy said,
Yes.
be the change that,
That you want to see. Yeah, absolutely. And I
And
know.
you mentioned something. Change comes with accepting, by first accepting that something's wrong.
Yes.
If you are
yes.
not at a place of acceptance, change will never come.
Absolutely. I see Carlos Rangel, another guy from Puerto Rico. I'm so glad to having so much diversity
Right.
in our program. And so
good.
that's good. I got from Africa, from Puerto Rico,
All over,
from the
yeah.
Caribbean. So that's a nice thing. Let me see.
I
Go ahead.
see Halim Anif said, very good topic, lots of domestic violence. I have lived in America for a long time, and it's very, very common. There I grew up in a home with domestic violence. About time the men get their acts together and do the right things, get some help, you know?
Nafisa Noor says, Anthony, you are a brilliant young man. Keep up the great knowledge you have. Happy New Year, son. And she's always so pleasant. It's always good to have her on my program. You give respect, you get respect. Shanti Singh says, it's good to have Shanti Singh on. Shanti Singh is another singer.
I know. Hi, Shanti. How are you? I see you locked on. Good afternoon and Happy New Year to all of you. I hope you had a great time, hon. I see John Naimat said, if you are born to be a penny, you will never be a dollar, right or wrong. Well, you see, you know, everybody born to be something, and not everyone is born to be a doctor or a lawyer.
Absolutely.
Or, you know, somebody has to cut the grass or, you know, do something of the sort. So it's with the people them that growing up in their home, and they see their father and mother fighting, and they thought that's life. So let's go and live the same way. You know, if I get married, this is how I want to live. That's not it.
Right. Hey, and you know, to be very honest with you, I've seen before my mic, and I see before where some children, some boys, that they grew up in abusive situation, and they try to stand up for to about their family. Sorry, we're having a little mic issue here. Yeah, my mic was off just now.
Hey,
Sorry about that. Yes, you know, did you know, we all know that you have some children, they grew up in a home, and they see their father beating their mother. But guess what? These boys grew up and said, and when they meet at an age, they start to stand up for the mother, and they said, you know what? You can't beat mommy no more. We all have seen, a lot of us have seen that before, right?
Yep.
So while it could be a learned behavior, you can grow up and say, you know what, I would not see that my daddy beat my mother no more. That's
Right,
can't happen. And I would not dare see that my dad go beat my mother. I'll do something about it. I have to be professional in this program. You know what I'm saying? So let's
I
read
think
some.
any son would. I think that instinct is just within you.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you can't beat my mommy. So go ahead.
I
Girly.
see Fazila Hussein said that there is lots of men who are being abused out there too. I do believe that children seeing their mothers being abused by their fathers growing up. Yes, we know not only women being abused.
Men too, right,
yeah,
right.
we see some men, being abused in
But-
relationships. Women abuse them.
Yeah,
you
like
know?
Anthony said, 90%, but we want to focus a little bit more on the woman because when you look at it, right, most of the women, they're the one that's getting murdered and so on, right, Anthony?
Oh yes, yes.
That's
yes,
actually
yes.
actually what's going on.
I can't remember of a case where I read that a man got murdered or killed as a result of domestic violence. That's why I said more than 90% of the times the victims are the women.
You know, it's strange you say that too. You know, when I was a young nurse back in Guyana, a patient came one time and what his wife had done to him, and it's so strange. He was sleeping with an underwear that's kind of holy, those fancy underwear, and his wife threw some hot rice on his penis. And when it's like it cooked and it came, and I was a nurse for that guy that time, and I tell you, it was something to think about. So we don't encourage violence. We encourage
right,
people
right.
to go
And while it might
therapy.
sound a bit funny and comical, it's the reality of the times that we live in, and these things do happen. Huh?
Absolutely. So let's see. When we come back, let me see if I could read some comments here.
Oh, I see. Okay,
ahead,
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I see John asked if I'm going to be singing. John, well, I'm going to do a little piece. I'm not going to do it with the music. So, your mic is up, right? I'm going to do a little piece for you. But, I know your name is not Benji, but I'm going to sing a little piece of Benji, darling, for you, okay?
Go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah.
John? Benji, darling, my only sweetheart. Benji, darling, we never part. If we weren't to marry, then kisses never part. Kiss me, Benji, darling, my only sweetheart. Benji, darling, Benji, darling. That's one of Kanchan, and it's one of my favorites.
Well, it's so nice hearing her beautiful voice. She is very talented, and I'm so glad that you came, and I'm so glad I reached out to you actually and said you're going to come on my program, so that's a good thing. Nafisa Noor says, Ken, it's always a pleasure listening to your wonderful session. Keep up the good work. Happy New Year's to you and your family. From my family, friends, God bless you always. Rita said, we block our parents from getting hit. Yes, sometimes that happens. We are getting so much. Rakia said, beautiful. Girly is a good singer, I can tell you that. Radha Samaru, thank you for tuning in. I see you were getting some cheer on from Priya, all the way from Guyana. Anthony sing, ouch, indeed. Hot rice, yes, I see the hot rice story. So, and while we don't encourage any kind of violence, we prefer people to go get, counseling and so on. Let's see how the time is going. It's 6:51 already, my God. So let's get another song, and when we come back, we only have a couple minutes to talk about little suicide, which we will have to keep a little short, but let's go. The time is rolling for us.
That's 1 hour selection.
Go ahead.
That's Vishal and myself. That's Vishal and myself doing Sawan Ka Mahina. And I used to laugh at this song because we keep practicing until we get perfect. And
All right, enjoy the beautiful girly Pasad.
okay, I think he missed it. That's the original. He's
okay.
gonna play our song after
Okay.
this. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
पवन करे तोर
जियारा रे झूमे ऐसे जैसे
हम
बन
ये
माना छे मोर
No?
सावन का महीना पवन करे शोर जियारा रे झूमे ऐसे जैसे बन माना छे मोर
सावन का महीना
Yes, Ryan, you just missed her singing, but you can go back and listen.
राम गजब ढाए ये पुरवैया
Welcome to Island Zone Radio. This is the Ken Rampersaud Show.
महबूब मेरे महबूब मेरे महबूब मेरे महबूब मेरे तू है एक दुनिया कितनी हंसी है जो तू नहीं तो कुछ भी नहीं है मुझे जीना भी यही है महबूब मेरे महबूब मेरे महबूब मेरे महबूब मेरे तू है दुनिया कितनी हंसी है
Hi, Roshan. Good evening. I see you locked on. And I sent our greetings earlier, and I know you're busy, but don't worry. I'm happy that I met you last night. So do enjoy our program, and I'm wishing to meet with you tomorrow night, maybe with Soka if he's on, okay? Thank you for tuning in.
Good night, Roshan. Welcome to the Ken Rampersaud Show, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see, Roshan, thank you for tuning in. Hasib Haq, thank you for tuning in. Halim Hanif, thank you for tuning in. Anthony Prasad, Priya Prasad, yes. Anthony says that, Anthony, you want to take her question or you want to answer it later on?
What I can do, Priya, the responses there will be a bit lengthy, but if you can inbox me your email, I definitely have some ideas that I can send to you via email.
I see Ryan says he missed my singing. Don't worry. I'll be doing a special one for you, Ryan. You know, that's, I'm not going to sing Indian song all the time, you know. I have a special song I want to sing. I have a special secret admirer on Facebook, and I didn't know. He's not showing his picture, but he always comment. And I said, listen, young man, you need to put your picture up. And that's Robert Ramp. So, Robert, I will be singing a special English song for you, a little piece. I mean, I will be doing these songs without music. I also have music, but we don't want to take up Kenneth's program. I'm just here because I'm in New York, and he invited me to come, and I'm so happy to be here. So we can talk a little bit about different things, like my singing career and abusive relationship and about the young people.
That's right. That's right. We have like 2 minutes more to get off the radio. And so let's talk about, I'll give both of you a chance to talk about if you got some young people thinking of concentrating of want to commit suicide, how do you advise them? Who want to go first, Anthony?
What I always say, life is fraught with hardships, and things that will always disappoint us, you will find that one of the major contributing factors to suicide and one wanting to commit suicide is the issue of depression. But it is always better to be alive, to be in the land of the living, than to not be able to enjoy everything that life has to offer. You would have had your hardship in life, likewise you, likewise me. And we have to stick it out. Find somebody to talk to, get some counseling, have a friend. There's so many people that if you can just open up and let that burden out, let that burden off, I'm pretty sure you will see that, you know what, I can make it through this, and you move on with your life. If I can say, there are certain key things that people should be looking for in a teenager when it comes to what are some of the indicating factors that may signal that a young person is contemplating suicide. Things like low grades, withdrawing from friends, withdrawing from things that they used to enjoy doing, them talking about death and not wanting to be alive, and change in behavior and all these things. So these are signals that we need to pay attention to, whether you're a parent or a guardian or just a friend or somebody.
Yes. What's your take?
I just want to make sure that all the young people, the young girls and young
Right.
boys out there, take their education and focus on that. And I know some people say education is not it. Sometimes you have education, yes, and when it's time for you to use it, you don't have common sense. And so it's good to take your education and follow your dreams, work towards it. I know all the abusive relationship with the young people. I mean, some old ones too, but they still stay. But if you can get out of it, get out of it. Talk to somebody. It makes you feel good. Sometimes there are some people who are silent,
Yes.
and silent it's a killer by itself. If you're silent and you don't speak up, it kills you.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Even
yes.
faster than to say something. And they have some people who, as soon as something happened, they want to talk about it. So reach out to someone and talk about yourself, With a little bit, I want to wrap it up because I know Ken said they want to hear me sing a little bit.
So go ahead if you want to sing, and then
They
I'll
want to hear a little piece of something. But I'll sing a piece of English for Robert, and then a last one I'll be singing for Shabir. So I will be singing for you guys. I know the ladies love me singing. I can sing anything like Kuch Kuch Hota Hai or anything. So I want to do a little piece. Do that to me one more time. Once is never enough with a man like you. Oh, tell that to me one more time. So I just do a little piece and I have you guys in suspense, right?
Yes.
And I have this special song now for Shabir. Darling, meet me tonight in the moonlight. Darling, love me tonight all alone. For I have a story to tell. It's a story that had never been told. Okay, guys, and I want to say Happy New Year to each and every one of you.
So, Auntie, is there anything before it's now 7 o'clock, before we close, and then I'll make my final statement?
All right, yeah. First off, thank you for having me. Thank you for providing this opportunity where whatever little was shared, we know that knowledge brings empowerment.
Right.
We know that these kind of platforms provide an opportunity to bring about change in the lives of people, which eventually has a replicating effect to change communities and what's not. We want for young people and their fellow mankind, human beings, to know that, especially young people, and the issue of suicide. Guyana has the highest rate of suicide. Life is not, people always say life is not fair, but it is not always easy. But we have to be determined. And the hardships and the bad patch, they always pass. And you're able to continue.
Absolutely, yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, welcome to the Ken Rampersaud Show here on Island Zone Radio in New York. I would like to take this wonderful opportunity to say thank you so much to Anthony, a very smart young man who is a representative for Guyana. I know that you are going to continue and to do great things. I will open my platform for you to come anytime you want to come.
Thanks very much.
Yes, we will continue this. To Girly Prasad, Girly, I know that you are a great ambassador too. I want us to team up since you are, and this is a special message for you because I get to know you more from last night. I want you and I to team up and to make this a better world with your songs, with all that you do in life.
I would love that. Thank you for having me, Ken.
Yes.
As Priya said, oh my God, your voice is priceless. Thank you, Priya. And I know I can only say a little because we don't have much time. And I see they said we can go over a little bit, a few minutes, but I don't want to overdo it. We still have more things to say, but I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all you lovely viewers, all you wonderful people, and make sure you guys be safe. And this year we're looking to be better for everyone.
That's right. And also, I want to talk a little, I'm just going to take a minute or two to talk about domestic violence. Remember, you don't have to stay in domestic violence relationship, especially if your partner is abusing you, causing a lot of damage to you. Yes, I encourage initially that you go and seek guidance, you go and seek help and therapy and so on. Suicide, you know what, you don't have to really kill yourself. You don't have to take your own life. Find someone to talk to. You can call me, myself, Shanaz, Girly Prasad. Even Anthony is such a young man, but I'm certainly sure that he would be able to help you guys. And there is so much help out there. You don't have to end up taking your own lives. So once again, on behalf of the Ken Rampersaud Show, I would like to, this is the last show actually for 2019. And I know that there is another year coming up. I'm hoping to do better and do bigger things for next year, have some more topics. I also want to thank our DJs. We have Kedarnath here, Arvinda. He wants to go as DJ Bolt, which he will going to start use as of next year. So I want to say thank you very much. We have Nidas, thank you very much for Rajiv Nandalal. Thank you for all that you do, and also to my boy is putting up his hand in the studio. Aditya, he was there last night, was dancing a little bit. I want to say thank you very much for rising, and I hope that you guys grew up to do much more bigger things. Thank you again. May God bless you.
Thank you, Geeta, for tuning in as well. She always
Geeta Baldio, yes,
Geeta
she's
Baldio.
always there.
And also your beautiful wife, Geeta Rampersaud. I want to say thank you. Thank you, DJ, for doing such a wonderful job for us in studio here.
I hate to come off with 59 people still watching us, but you're gonna, when you come back again, you will plan another trip and we'll do a lot of talking. And she's gonna do more singing.
And
when
I'll
she
be some
back.
dancing in the studio for
All
them.
right. All
right, Kenneth.
Yes.
It was so nice meeting you, Kenneth,
Thank
and you, my co-host.
Nice
It was
meeting you
pleasure.
also.
Keep
Yes.
up the good job you're
Thanks.
doing, both of you.
Thank
okay?
you. Thank you very much. And until then, we want to wish you guys a happy new year and a happy and prosperous new year. Until next year, a pleasant good night.
Thank you all for watching.
And if we miss, you guys would not understand. There's so much names. Sometimes we get to miss. You know what happens? Sometimes I don't get to see all the names that's coming up. And when the show finished, then I say, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Yes,
I did
when
not
you
get
go
a
to
call."
the program,
Yes.
I
So
know.
for all of those of you who I miss, I am sorry, and we will make up for you guys. Love you until next time.
I want to wish all my beautiful people in Guyana, Trinidad, Suriname, Canada, and in America here. I want to wish you all around the world a happy new year to each and every one of you.
Thank you, guys. Until then,
Okay, bye-bye for now.
we're done.
You didn't get to play. I was going to do it.
Oh,
Oh, you didn't
oh,
find it,
we
Soraya?
are still on. So
Oh,
let's
he
play
said it.
another song. We
He
can get
said it
another
for
song.
you.
Let's go.
That's live. That's live.
Okay. So we
Oh,
can
you
close
find
out
that?
with it.
That's